now that we are over halfway through March, which I cannot believe, let's dive in and get going on this potato chip quilt. So if you saw my spin at the end of February, I spun and landed on the potato chip quilt, which thankfully, with being as sick as I was the beginning of this month, it has made all the difference, because I have heard that this is a mindless quilt project. It's gonna go quick, it's gonna go fast, and I am all for that right now. So I have heard, after watching Brenda's videos, she mentioned that you can do all these different sizes. You can do 2 by 3.5, 2.5 by 4.5, and like all these other sizes to keep your potato chips going. And so with my pieces, I'm going to do the 2.5 by 4.5, because that will give me a way to use up all my pieces that are cut from leftover from binding. And so they're already cut to 2.5, so I just have to cut the 4.5 and go from there. So I'm going to show you what I was thinking as far as my color scheme. It's a little chaotic, but I think it's going to be a fun adventure to really just dive straight on into a super scrappy quilt. And so if you're not familiar with a potato chip block, I will put the link in the description below, so you can go hop on over to Brenda's channel and see how she does it, because that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to follow it that way. If you want to watch that now, or you can keep going on this video and watch me fumble through things and then go, how is this really supposed to be done? And then go over to her channel. So let's go over to my scraps and see what I've got going on, and then we'll start making some chips. Okay, so for potato chip block this month, we are going to dive into all of my scrap bins. So with it being, I don't know, St. Patrick's Day, I could have gone for all green, but I think I'm feeling very like pot of gold rainbow. So I've got all of my red, orange, yellow, green. This one's blue. Here's our purple and pink. And these are black, white, and gray. I might use those. I haven't decided yet, but my goal is to get 12.5-inch blocks, and I think I need 18 pieces. I'm going to do the 2.5 by 4.5 rectangles instead of the 2 by 3.5. So that's kind of what my goal is here. I'm going to start pulling some of these out, ironing, seeing what I can find. And I think it said I needed 35 blocks to do a twin size. We'll see. So I'm going to start digging through those and see what I find. So now I've got about 51-ish of each one. It said I needed like 51.3 or something of each color. So I've got probably at least 52 of each color. So now it's time to make our potato chips. So let's see how this first block's going to come together. So here is our first potato chip block, and they weren't lying. When they say mindless sewing, they mean it. So now I'm gonna go ahead and make the next 11. So I only planned on 12 so I could get a good feel in a small size so I wouldn't have to piece a backing or anything, but I'm excited. This is gonna be so much fun. So as I've been making my blocks, I've just kind of been plopping them up here on the design wall. So I've got 9 of them done, and so 3 more to go. I don't know, maybe I have more scraps than I should have cut. I don't know. But you're probably going, where's that 9th block? It's right here. So, Trixie, I need that block so I can put it up on the wall. But then, once I get the next 3 done, I'm going to trim them up because some are a little wavy. But I want to get that nice 12.5-inch square so that I can sew them all together, and then it's going to be all done. So right now they're sideways because I've got 4 this way and I'm going to go 3 this way. So let's do it, Trixie. So they call this a potato chip block because you can't make just one. This many was supposed to be what I thought I was making, but somehow I ended up cutting enough for 20 blocks. I did math late, so that could be why. But now we're going to sew this together and we'll have a finished quilt top. So let me charge my camera a little bit and then we'll see you again soon with a finished quilt top. Did it, we made it, and our finished rainbow potato chip block quilt is all complete. Well, the top is, that is. I really like how it came together because there was technically a limited color palette. I do have in some spots where the same color is touching the same on a block next to it, but I did my best to make sure it was not the same print. So I think for the most part I don't have that as an issue. I don't have the same print touching each other, but I do have the same color, but it totally works. So I'm so happy with how this turned out. Sure, it's 8 blocks bigger than I thought it was going to be, but I guess my late night math and just chopping things up was meant to be. And so the other thing I did on this quilt that I don't usually do is, because there were so many seams at the edges because I didn't put a border on it, and I'm not going to put a border on it, I did a running stay stitch around the edge So I went about 1/8 in and then just went all the way around. I stitched it from the back side so then I could make sure that my seams that were pressed open, and my seams that were to one side or the other stayed to one side or the other. So hopefully that'll make the quilting of it a lot easier. And then the other thing I wanted to add is that my first block I made just by itself. And the way that they recommend is to do them multiple at a time, and that totally made things go a lot faster. Like I had an hour, maybe 45 minutes even. No, it was less than that. I did in 30 minutes. I had 2 blocks already laid out and I sewed them all and got the next 2 laid out before I had to go somewhere. So this is a great block for if you have a small window of sewing. You can get 2 of them done in a very quick amount of time. And for some reason, the other thing that happened, they didn't come up to 12.5 when they were finished. Might have been my wonky sewing and my wonky cutting because I wasn't super accurate, I guess. They came out to 12.25. So that means it's gonna be 12, 24, 36, 48-ish by 54, I think. That sounds about right. So I'm gonna go figure out what backing I'm gonna put on this. I do have more of that purple that I used on my clamshell quilt, but I may also look to see if I have anything different just to give this something else that's kind of fun. So let me give you an up close detail so you can see this up close and all these fun prints. And then we'll be back next week to quilt it, reveal it, and then spin the wheel already for April's quilt. How crazy is that? We'll see you soon.